The social learning theory. The social learning theory suggests that you develop the personality that you have because of the type of environment that you are in. The idea of the social learning theory was produced by Bandura, who suggested that all behaviours and personalities were unstable. Because of this judgment, he suggested that someone's personality was changeable depending on the environment, suggesting that you could adapt to the situation by changing your personality. The social learning theory was created on the back of an experiment called the Bobo doll experiment. According to Nolan from Britacarn.com, the Bobo doll experiment was a study of the use of aggression. The study was carried out in 1961 at Stanford University and was led by Albert Bandura. The experiment suggests that children could learn behaviours through their observation of adult behaviour. The experiment involved an inflatable doll which a woman verbally and physically abused. The child then watched this recording before going into the room with the doll. The child then acted in the same way that the adult had done by violently attacking the doll. The experiment suggests that you can learn a behaviour if you watch someone do something because you are then able to mirror it yourself. It suggests that you are more likely to mirror someone if you are a similar age, gender and personality, and also if you have similar ethics and morals. It is not that likely that you will watch someone perform an act of violence and everyone will copy it. Therefore, it suggests that only people who may copy it is people who are similar in many ways to the person who is performing the act of violence. If people use observational learning to pick up on a skill or a personality type, they must consider armed. This is a process that is used for successful and effective observation. This is important in everyday life and also in sport for an individual or group to learn new things. The first stage of armed in sport is how much you pay attention to a skill. This is important because if you only watch a skill once and you are distracted, you are less likely to be able to produce a similar movement. Therefore, if someone can pay more attention to a skill, it's suggested that they will be able to mirror it more efficiently. The next part of armed is linked to if you have the motor skills to be able to mirror the demonstration. This is important because if you don't have the motor skills to reproduce the mirrored movement, there is no chance that you will really ever be able to do it when you watch a demonstration. This means that there is no point in showing someone an overly complex skill if they are a beginner and cannot mirror what you are about to do. The next part of armed is linked to the ability to retain the demonstration. This element is important because you must be able to revisit a skill and practice it if you are going to perform the skill again to a different time. This links to the last stage of an effective observation, which is the motivation that it takes to mirror a skill. If the skill is more complex, it is harder to do. Therefore, if in sport someone is being taught a difficult skill, they must stay motivated to be able to do it and not give up if they fail the first times that they try it. For example, if a coach demonstrates a smash hit in badminton to a beginner's class, they may find it hard to pick up and copy. Therefore, they require a lot of motivation from themselves and the coach to continue doing it and not to give up. It is important that a coach uses armed when teaching a new skill because it means that they are following clear steps which ensures that everyone is able to complete the skill as well as possible. The steps that the coach should follow is, for the A, they should make sure that they are giving clear coaching points throughout the lesson. This makes it easier for participants learning and mirroring of the skill to pay attention. For example, for a serve in badminton, they must be clear about foot placement and hand positioning on the racket, as this sort of detail makes skill easier to pick up and mirror. For the second part of armed, they should allow time for players to practice the skill over again. This means giving the opportunity for people to ask questions and get help so that they are able to retain the skill that they are trying to learn. This should also make sure that as a coach they are following the M of armed. They must ensure that the skill they are asking the participants to learn is the right level so they aren't finding it too easy or too hard, as this will decrease levels of motivation quickly and put participants off from continuing to join in. Lastly, when coaching, they should make the demonstration and drills fun to keep the individuals motivated within the group. Making the skill that they are learning fun means that people will enjoy doing it. For example, learning a serve in tennis, you could do an around the world game, where there is a group on one side of the net and the other on the opposite side. For each participant to move to the other side, they must perform the skill of the serve correctly. This makes it exciting and more motivational for the participants. Observational learning can also be suggested to be used in professional sports such as football. For example, if a footballer fake falls to the floor when tackled to make it look like the opponent fouled them, this could be used as observational learning. For example, if another player on the opposite team watches this happen, they may mirror the movement and situation again with the player on the team of their first player who pretended to foul. This is known as observational learning because the player copied what the first player did. However, not every player copied this, therefore the situation suggests that observational learning is only used by people who have similar morals to the player who first performed the incident. For example, if they thought the behaviour was okay, so they may have used it as payback to the team for trying to use bad play in the first place. There is limitations to this theory because not everyone will be able to learn with observation. This means that some people will prefer to learn in different ways, therefore this theory doesn't take into consideration any personality traits. It also has a limitation towards not taking in different morals that people may have. For example, if someone acts violently, this doesn't mean that everyone will watch this and mirror the act. This is because some people have morals telling them this is wrong and that it is the incorrect way to behave. This is commonly due to upbringing, which influences personality.